to our 10th forum. So tonight, the topic of our forum tonight is remaining vigilant while in recovery. So first, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Regina Livingston. I'm the Executive Director of Unspoken Treasure Society. And the next person that will be introducing herself is from Orlando, Florida. And you know her very well as she's the Executive Director of Divas and Dialogue.
Hello, everyone. Hello. What's tea? I am Mulan Munchies Williams. I'm the Outreach Coordinator for Miracle of Love, as well as the Executive Director for Divas and Dialogue. And I hope everyone is enjoying their Friday today.
Call the next person.
Aja.
Hi, my name is Aja, longtime resident here in Orlando, Florida. I'm with the Divas and Dialogue. I've been active in the community for a long time. But yeah, I am here and I'm happy to be here today. Colleen?
Hello. My name is Kaleem, and I don't really have no fancy title to go behind my name. I'm just an addict trying to get another day clean. I do partner with a program here in Jacksonville, Florida called Operation New Hope, where they help people that have been affected by the judicial system get replaced back into employment, housing, and things of that nature. Again, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, by way of New Jersey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashanti Coleman. I live here in the Tampa Bay area. I am one of the co-founders of Lips Tampa, the executive director of Lips Tampa. I'm the outreach coordinator for SWAP behind bars, and also one of the coordinators for Ideal Syringe Exchange. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's just dive right into our dialogue tonight. I'm going to start with you, Ashanti, our very special guest. What does the word vigilance mean to you when it comes to recovery?
Vigilance for me, and I can only give you an example of how vigilance played a part in my life. When I came home from prison, I was placed back into the same situation in which I left, sex work and drugs. So I end up staying over here in Tampa for about 6 months, trying to work the system exactly like they told me in prison, which was a total lie. You know, they said that I could get a job and get housing when I first got out, but that was all a lie because I went to all of those places that they had given me in the pre-release package. What I found out was I ended up having to leave Tampa. I moved to St. Pete, and I ended up staying in a recovery house. And from that recovery house, I transitioned into my own space, which was a crack hole, okay? But I wanted to stay clean so bad. I wanted to complete my 90 and 90 so bad. I didn't see what was going on around me. I didn't care about what was going on around me. I stayed clean in spite of everything that was going on around me because I used what was familiar to me as my stronghold, because I knew I didn't want to be just like those people. So knowing the dangers, but preparing for something good was vigilant to me.
Amazing. Aja, what does vigilance look like for you?
Vigilance for me is being aware, observant, alert, and kind of attentive. Being cognizant of like others around you, knowing that there are dangers and difficulties that will come to you. And but at the same time, you have to be ready for them, you know, to remain vigilant. You have to like be able to recognize that there is dangers out there and that you have to be ready for them to come. Just by my sexuality alone, my sexual preference, I had to be vigilant because, you know, it was for me more of survival, being here, just being, because I could have been dead, you know, and I don't want to die. So therefore, I had to heighten my my sense of being vigilant.
Okay. Milan?
Like I just said, it's like being aware. But when I think of that, I think of you know how the police have the caution tape?
Mhm.
That's what I see in my mind is caution. I'm always caution about where I'm going, who am I gonna be close with, and things like that. So for me, it just really means being caution.
Okay. And Colleen?
Well, to me, vigilant simply means just standing guard, you know, just protecting what I've built and what I hope to continue to keep. It just means like you all said, just being mindful of my surroundings, being mindful of my decision making. It means vigilance to me means to pause before I act, pause before I speak, because my actions and my speaking, what I go through is usually a direct result of my decision making. You know, so I try to remain vigilant and stand guard with the decisions that I make and the situations that I put myself in. That's what vigilance means to me, to stand guard.
I agree. And vigilance to me means that and so much more. I feel like being vigilant is also being visible. Being visible is imperative for people to know that what they're going through, other people are also going through. So at the same time of standing guard, you let people know, this forum lets people know that we've been there where you are. It lets people know that sometimes someone could still be there where you are. It lets people know that we are all human. People sometimes can be their worst critics. People beat themselves up. People are so hard on themselves. So I feel like vigilance comes with a whole family of attributes that you should share. You know, stand guard, but also open up your arms and welcome them in to let them know that I'm going through the same fight daily. I could say I got 13 years clean, but I can't say I haven't thought about it within those 13 years. I could say I get up every day and I go forward and I don't even think about drugs. But that may not be true. So along with being vigilant, just be open as far as letting people know that any trait is human. We don't need to treat people like we're better than them, because at any given moment, you can be right there. And I've had to catch myself with that. I had to catch myself. And then I was shown. So I know for a fact that you need to stand guard, but you also don't stand so much guard and have that pull up till you miss somebody walking by that just may need you to pull them in and say, hey, you know, it's okay. You know, I got you.
You know, Natalia, I'm glad you said that, because it's that visible piece, because, you know, one thing I've learned in this process of recovery is that if I don't tell people where I am, they can't come and get me. So if I didn't remain visible, if I didn't speak up about the true nature of what was going on with me, I wouldn't have been able to get the help that I got. You know, if you give people superficial responses, they're going to give you superficial help. They can only help what you give them to help. So thank you for sharing that.
Exactly. The next question. The Oxford language defines vigilant as the action or state of keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. What does that look like for you, Aja?
Repeat that again. I'm sorry. What was that last part of it?
The Oxford language, the dictionary, defines vigilance as the action or state of keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. What is that looking like for you?
Well, for me, okay, I'm a very observant person anyways. And I know that all people are not like me. So therefore, I kind of try to get into a person's mind. That's not a bad thing because you have to know people. You have to know that people are. Some things are out there that can hurt you, and I'm not green to it. It's more like I don't put nothing past you. I see you, you know. So and I'm not gonna just play dumb and let that come like what Kaleem referenced back to. I'm not gonna let that come back to hurt me. I'm gonna stay guarded and I'm going to just, you know, I'm here for survival. But that's what it looks like for me.
Okay. Colleen.
So to me, you know, what the dictionary defines as vigilant, the best way that I can explain that in regards to what it means to me is to give you an account, a real true life account. One thing's in my recovery that I had to learn how to do, and this is, you know, you ladies know me, you know that I don't hold back. I'm, you know, gut-wrenching honest about my story because I believe that through my story, somebody can gain some identification and possibly realize that they're not the worst addict or alcoholic out there and that somebody else has been through it. So with that being said, one of the things I struggled with was having sober sex. You know, the trick bone's connected to the drug bone. You know what I mean? So I didn't know how to have sex without drugs. That was just what I did. You know, I would go out there, I would sell ass lips, hips, and fingertips, whatever it took to get one more. You know what I mean? So one thing that I had to learn how to do was to practice what I didn't know at the time was vigilance, and by staying absent from sex, because it was a trigger for me. I relapsed over and over and over again just by having sex. You know what I mean? My flavor come around, I want to have sex, I'm having sex, it don't feel right, let's go get one. You know, that's my story. So I had to remain absent, and I was abstinent for about a year and a half, the beginning of my recovery, just because I was blessed enough to realize that this was one of the things that led me back out there. So vigilance to me means making sacrifices in order to maintain what you're working toward.
Ashanti.
Just like you, Kaleem, and I want to say two things. Just like you, I was one that had problems having regular sex. I did. I had to learn how to have sex all over again. And it took the person that I'm with right now, and I've been with him for 17 years, in order to do so. And the first year was very, very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. But I was clean and sober, so it made the big difference. As far as vigilance again, let me explain. Let me share something with you. This weekend, I was doing needle exchange, which is one of the things that I spoke of initially. And a lot of my participants are at these hotels over here off of Bush Boulevard, which is right close to Busch Gardens. And it's the seedy hotels, two of them that I have to visit. So I'm there this weekend, and the girl that's supposed to come downstairs, she's taking her time, and I done pulled up, and it's all of these thugged out dudes on the banister. They all in the parking lot. So when I pull up, I'm already feeling some type of way because I know that there's a potential thing, there's a potential fact that I could possibly be in danger. You know, because all it takes is for one of them to say something bad to kick off the whole thing, and then there it goes. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, I hope this woman, please come on. You know, I didn't say that, but I was like, I hope she come on downstairs so I can get from out of here. My nerves were so rattled with her and the whole situation that when she came downstairs, because I was gonna leave without giving her her stuff. But when she came downstairs, I was able to get her what she needed to get and take off. And then like 2 hours later, I'm back in the same situation right down the street from that. I pull in the participants comes outside, and you have 4 Black women on one end of the hotel and 1 Black woman on the other, and they're going at it because apparently there's a guy involved. So while I'm sitting there giving these syringes out and trying to take in the ones that they're giving me, the police pull up. Mind you, I had left my purse at home. I don't have my ID. I don't have nothing that says I am who I am. And I have a truck full of dirty syringes. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Please.
Even when I think about it now, it's like I could have been fucked up because I'm formerly incarcerated. I'm Black first, and then I'm trans. So they would have had a field day with me. But that did not stop me because I was back out there the next night doing the same thing, aware of the dangers, but the need was greater. And that's what vigilance looked like for me. I'm aware of the situations that I'm going in, but there's a greater need. Thank you.
Milan.
For me, it was staying away. I remember getting out of prison and just remember I knew I didn't want to go down that road again. And it really pushed me away from the things that I really love doing, as far as shows and going out to the nightclubs and stuff. I knew I had to put that behind me if I wanted to not go down the same path. So for me, it was just staying away. And I stayed away for a long time. I stayed off the scene a while. And even coming back and so right now it's 18 years for me. And even though that seems like it is a long time, but it hasn't been easy because I've had a few times that I've almost slipped up by going to the club, even after that long time. So for me, it was just staying away. And now I'm able to go back to the club. I still don't probably stay the whole night. I get a couple of drinks and I'll be ready to go because I know what can happen after that. So for me, it's just staying away. Staying away. I put dreams to the side, but I'm happy I did because I'm happy where I'm at today.
Okay. For me, I have, for some reason, always put myself in dangerous situations. Because I've always thought I got this, honey. I got this, and I can do what I want to do, honey. I'm gonna twirl and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna, honey, because I don't do that no more, honey. But I've learned through trial and error that you do have to be guarded. I'm still gonna be visible. I'm still gonna, because we all have our own vices. And I'm gonna tell you something, it's taught me that helping other people, bringing them in the fold helps my strength, because through me, and I say, I'm not a prophet or anything, but through my work of trying to keep others on the straight and narrow, I find strength in that. I found a lot of strength in that. And that's something that I couldn't do for a long time, because people really wouldn't even trust me to, sit and talk to me about what they're going through. And it's a blessing now for people to be able to be comfortable enough to come to me and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this and that. But however, I do know you have to be guarded because the devil's going to come at you too. So you can't let everybody eat. You can't. It's just not possible. And I thank God that he blessed me with a discerning spirit. I happen to be able to decipher a lot of times if it's pure or if there's motives. When people come and sit up under me and be like, so you don't do no drug at all? That's the devil. That's the devil.
Yeah, and let's really talk about, I'm sorry, but let's really talk about that piece for 1 minute, because that's another reason why I stayed away. Because when people know that you are not, they will look at you and treat you like you're the crazy one or you're the dumb one or something is wrong with you because you're trying to do better. that needs to be talked about too, because people are crazy. They were really, I mean, people
That's real.
when I turned down a bump or something like that, like, oh, no, I need to be doing that to you, but I'm not judging you. You know what I'm saying? And they were really, oh, that's a whole other topic.
No,
Don't
it's
push
not.
the button.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's right here. That's not another topic. We right here.
And it hurt me so bad when I first came back, because I'm like, these people I call my friends and y'all looking at me like I'm the bad person. Y'all should be uplifting the fact that, one, I'm trying, you know, because I'm fresh out, you know, and they already, girl, you want to, no, I'm trying to stay away from that. Oh, girl, you know, are making it seem like I'm thinking I'm better. No, I'm not thinking I'm better. Y'all just know where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, yeah, it was a lot, and it's really hurtful when it comes from people you know. It really is.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had to actually fight a girlfriend because I wanted to stop. It didn't stop me from stopping, but I had to fight, and it hurt me then, but I look back at it, she was hurt because we were in that thing together. And, you know, it wasn't a problem when we were together doing it, but now I wanted out. She wasn't ready to get out. Now she fought me and it hurt me. I look back at it now and I can kind of, you know, understand, because technically I was leaving her. And, you know, I was protecting me, looking out for me. But yeah, I had to physically fight this girl who I was scared of. But okay, I beat that ass. But yeah.
Either you have the ones that's gonna try to make you feel guilty
Yeah.
in the terms of you thinking that you better, or you have the ones that think that you have a lot of money because you ain't doing drugs no more, and they always need. And they want to remind you of the times when you all was there together in that same spot. Now you're supposed to understand that these bitches are still working, they're still taking care of themselves, and they're using their money to do drugs with. They know exactly when you get paid, and they don't mind calling you up saying, listen, I'm serious. I have a friend that does me like this. I've totally cut them off now, but they'll take their money and spin it up and then be like, can I borrow some? Because I know you ain't doing drugs. I know you got some money. You ain't giving your money to the dope boy like I'm doing. So I know you got some money. Can I have some, please? And then when you say no, it's like, oh, you gonna do me like that? You gonna do me like that out of all we've been through? I mean, for real. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colleen, go ahead.
So, you know, the literature that I read talks about addicts and how, you know, there's something in our fractured personality that cries out for failure. You know what I mean? And the most abnormal state for an addict to be in is clean. And I think that inadvertently using addicts know that, so they feed off of that. So they know that it's not going to take very much for you being new in recovery they just got to find that right button to push, and then you're off to the races with that check. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time, like, that's happened to me. That still happens to me from time to time. Like, people will look at you like, you know, you can't even have a glass of wine, you know? And I know for me, if I go have a glass of wine, I might as well throw everything in one of my cars and drive it to the dope man all at once, because it's going to end up there piece by piece by piece by piece anyway. So I just abstain from all of it. There are some that can have a drink and be fine. I'm not that one. I'm the one that'll take a drink, and before you know it, I'm behind a dumpster taking a Miami blast, talking about it all happened so quickly. You know what I mean? So, but when people, you know, try that with me, that lets me know the caliber of person I'm dealing with, and I cut them off because I have to stay vigilant in who I deal with. You know what I mean? It hurts. But one thing I learned in recovery is that you only have to change one thing. And usually that's everything: your people, your places, and your things. So
if I think most of you The two people on here that don't know my history as well is probably Ashanti and Colleen. However, me and Ashanti have talked so much she probably know more than everybody because we sit on the phone late night. She's one of the people that I can call late night and we talk about all kinds of stuff. But Milan and Aja has been there for my journey. Aja from the very beginning. So Milan is somebody that can jump up in front of me and tell somebody, hey, let's calm this conversation down because it's going to the left. Because she's somebody who knows some of my triggers and know when it's going to get real. But also, I used to be very, very friendly. I used to be open, and that's a margin of it. I used to be so friendly. And as a young girl, I used to get bullied. I used to have people use me. I had people that would threaten to call and tell my mom that I was running around with wigs on and putting on makeup and doing all time. I used to pay a person, and in the back, I've grown up now, but in the back of my mind, I don't forget that kind of stuff. And it's triggering. It's like when they're around, sometimes we get along and sometimes we don't. And it be vicious when we don't. Because I remember those things you did to me. And I don't know why people don't think people are gonna grow up, but I grew up. I grew up. And so when it comes to the guardedness, I understand it fully because you just can't let any and everybody in. It just can't happen. And to get back to what I was saying, the devil is cunning.
Ooh.
The devil is cunning. And when he's out to get you, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. Because he comes at you in ways you least expect it. And you realize that you left your gate open all that time for it to happen. So I've had to learn to still be friendly. I'm still very friendly, but I also have a boundary. That was something I had never set. I never set boundaries. Now I have boundaries. And if we talking and I don't want to talk about something, I cut that off. Don't, hey honey, we done with this. We ain't finna keep talking. And I've had my brothers. I've had, and see, I can reach out to people that talks to me with logic. I can say, Milan, girl, nah, am I wrong? And Milan will say, girl, you're not wrong, but sis, we gotta pull it on in. And what I love is now she'll call me and say, girl, am I doing too much? Yes, sis. Let's bring it back down so we can do it for each other. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Me and Ashanti talk like we've been sisters for the last 50 years. If we call and just fall right into conversation. That's not normal for me anymore. I don't just talk to, I don't do that now. But I feel that I'm in a comfort, safe space when I'm up late night and I'm stressed or I'm going through something. And I don't know why, but she can feel it for some reason. Because she be calling me talking about, I was just calling to check on you. And I could be right on the edge at that moment. But I know that we have to be vigilant. And that's something that I'm newly taking in with my boundaries. You do have to have that. But you also have to have that discerning spirit. So you know who you can let in, who you can help. And so I'm learning that, and I've been doing pretty well at that. I have. I've been doing pretty well at that. So our last and final question, and then we can see if anybody has, some questions they want to ask us, and we can keep on with the conversation. How has remaining vigilant affected your social life and activities? I can answer that. mine is really non-existent outside of advocacy, outside of my growing sisterhoods and, you know, talking to my sisters. And it get kind of boring sometimes. I'm like, I don't have a boyfriend, and boys do try to holler at me, but my discerning spirit always tell me that's not the one. You know, that's not the thing who you need to talk to. And so, for me, I have to, you know, I have to stay guarded. I do have to stay guarded. However, you know, I try my best to be guarded, but still do the work. Yeah. I still do the work. And when I help people now, they really can't get over on me like they could, because I used to want to help everybody. I used to want to help everybody. And Milan know exactly what I'm talking about. Because baby, we don't have this conversation of many of nights. You know, you want to help everybody, but you can't. You can't feel sorry for everybody. The devil will call you, and the angel will be laying there and won't say nothing. An angel in distress can be right up under you, but the devil will be calling you, talking about, I need help. Can I get this? Can you do this for me? So that's my thing. I'm just finding I'm using my discerning spirit where it needs to be used at, and it's helping me set boundaries. So I know how to move now. Colleen.
Yes. I just everything you said, just everything you said, for real. I mean, I've been sitting here meditating on what you've said, because there's so much truth behind everything you just said. Now, but I'm not going to let you do before I answer this question is talk about how special of a relationship you have with the other panelists and leave me out of it.
Oh,
but
you already know I'm saying.
That goes without saying, though. Maybe I wanted to keep that private.
So you know, it means so many different things, to be honest with you. It's like I'm trying to think of a scenario that I can, you guys know I use, you know, scenarios often. It means everything. It's affected everything in my life. You know, I've had to change everything in my life. I've had to change the people in my life. I've had to change the places I go. And I've also had to change the things that I do. The things that I did is something that was at the forefront of my recovery. You know, like I gave you the example of sex. Like, that was my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I pride myself anyway. But that was just one thing that I had to change. And from there, I just realized I had to change everything. I go to a fellowship where, you know, I take suggestions, and, you know, I work a 12-step program, and I had to learn that I had to change the people that I was around, because those people aren't working a program. You know what I mean? And also, like, while I'm at work, like, I see people that are bat-ass crazy. And I have to remember that they're not working the same type of program that I work, because the program that I work not only teaches me how to get and stay clean, but it teaches me some spiritual principles, you know, that being honest, being open-minded, being willing, you know, practicing integrity, you know, doing my job when nobody's watching, not taking shortcuts, things like that. So it changed everything about my social activities. I don't go out to bars, you know, because of the atmosphere. And I'm just talking about an addict named Colleen. You know, I can't handle it. And even if I feel like I can, you know, having 4 years and 5 months clean, I'm just not willing to gamble with it, because I have worked very, very hard to get to where I am. And I have a lot more to accomplish. Like, God's not done with me yet. So it's changed everything. All of my friends are in recovery. I don't have one friend that's not in recovery. Just because, you know, if you want to, birds of a feather flock together. So I'm not going to befriend somebody that's using drugs, or somebody that's just, just doing things that I'm trying not to do. So for me, it's changed everything. It honestly has changed everything. Do I still have the social life? Yes, I do. Do I still have fun? Yes, I do. I used to think that once I get clean, I'm not going to be able to have fun. And that's so far from the truth. The only difference between then and now is I remember what I did the night before. You know what I mean? But I still do have fun. Listen, whether we're high or not, we are some very talented, amusing, entertaining human beings. And I don't need a drug in order to bring that out of me. I used to think I have to have a drink, child, before I can, let loose, or let me smoke this J so I could really, get in my zone. But the fact of the matter is I don't need it, as evidenced by me doing the very same things that I used to do mentally without the use of drugs or alcohol. So it has changed everything, but it's changed everything for the better.
For me, before I answer.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Before I answer that, before I answer the social part, I'm being challenged every day, with dates and tricks or clients or whatever you want to call them. But they're offering me more money just to get high, and sometimes it'd be like a jackpot money type. But I know me, I cannot do it because I know what the end result will be. So over the years, I just, I began to just get stronger and stronger and stronger. But I am challenged almost every day about somebody wanting to involve me with the drugs. And as far as a social life, it damaged the drugs. They damaged it because now, let's say I meet this guy and he's here and I may smell too much alcohol. I may smell the drugs. I'm immediately turned off. I don't want you. It's like, I don't want to. I had a husband for 20 something years and he was on drugs. And although I remained strong throughout that there, but I don't want no parts of the drugs. And backing up, Regina, when you talking about some helping people, girl, I don't have the time anymore. I do not have the time to help nobody. It's exhausting. I'm sorry to be so mean. Baby, I'm not helping you. I'm tired. I don't do that. I'm just tired. I will share with you some stories, but girl, I ain't got time. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Shit, I did enough of that back then. I'm tired. I don't do drugs no more. Leave me alone. Don't ask me for nothing. That type of stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, but yeah. Oh no, but I don't have a social life, and it's so hard because, like I said, first thing they do, you drink, it's a turn off. No, I don't drink. You smoke, turn off. I don't want you. So therefore, it's been 15 years. I don't have nobody, and I'm not even really looking. So no, Mulan. Girl.
Well, I live next door to her, so when she don't want to help nobody, she said I'm knocking on my door.
I figured that.
Y'all know I told this story before, but I want to tell it again in case we have some new viewers out here. I remember, like I told you at the beginning, for me, I chose to stay away from the clubs and doing shows and everything to stay off of drugs. And this one time I went out, I don't know, I had like one cocktail, but when I was sitting there, all I saw was all these people keep going to the bathroom. And you know what that means when they keep going and keep going. And you know, all that. So I remember I followed some of my girlfriends in there, and I went in there. I was like, well, girl, give me a bump. And the look on her face, because she knew my story as well, and she told me no. And that sent me home because I felt so low. I felt so stupid because if she would have gave me a bump, that would have just erased all those years that I stayed clean. And this was like about, I think like 5 or 6 years ago. It just would have erased, it would have erased all of that. So you have to stay cautious. I don't care how long, you could be 20 years clean. You always got every day is a choice. Every day is a choice to make it another day, or you're gonna revert back to the old way. So you always have to just keep your eyes open and stay caution to everything. Fast forward to now that I'm in the clubs more often with my job, I still keep it cute and on mute sometimes. You know, I should tell you, I have so many different personalities because when I'm out and y'all see me, don't be messy though. When I'm out, I'm to talk to people and everything. But like sometimes when I'm home, she'll tell I don't want to be bothered, not even with her. You know, I be quiet. You know, I be to myself and everything. And that's from the things that happened in the past and stuff like that. But to anyone out there struggling with it, you have to make choices and you have to make change. Without change, there's no different outcome than the one you had before. So yeah. Ashanti.
Ashanti.
As far as my social life is concerned, from then to now, well, I got clean a long time ago. So the people that I was getting high with, let me go back. I left Tampa in the 90s and I moved to St. Petersburg, then Clearwater. Clearwater is the place where I basically got clean at. And all my friends over here in Tampa didn't get a chance to grow up with me as I grew up. They didn't get a chance to see the change. They only remember Miss Shawn. So we really didn't have a close relationship anyway, because a lot of those girls are still doing the same shit that they was doing back then. When I moved to Atlanta and I came back here to do the advocacy work, those girls or my family, they remembered the old Miss Shawn. They didn't know the new Shawn. So the new Ashanti. And I had to basically put a wedge in between us because they were still doing the same thing. They didn't grow up. They're still the same type of people they were 20 years ago. And someone had told me if someone is the same person they was last year, then those are the people that you don't want to be around because that means that they don't have no type of growth. I can say now, as far as my social life with the people that I've met, like I've met some beautiful people. I travel, I do a lot of traveling. And I'm constantly meeting other trans women like myself. And that is the best thing for me. To meet girls like Milan and Natalia and Tatiana Braxton and Cayenne Dorshow and Dernisha Duncan. To meet girls like that is actually doing the work that we doing, that's what keeps me clean and sober, believe it or not. It keeps me clean and sober because even though I run into those situations where you might meet a date that want to get high or a date that's getting high and all of that shit, it always fast forward. If I did this, then I'm gonna lose all the stuff that I have. I'm gonna lose the people that I take care of, the people that I love, because I love what the hell I do. I'm gonna lose the people that depends on me, the people that uplift me, my friends. I'm gonna lose all of that. So that keeps me, besides not wanting to do it, that keeps me clean and sober because I have a new family. I have a brand new family that of sisters that are bright and beautiful and entertaining and fabulous and smart and a whole lot of other stuff that I didn't have before. I'm meeting new age transgender girls that got master degrees. You know, girls that have full fledged fucking careers. Things that was not afforded to me when I was a kid, when I was a little girl, because all we had was prostitution and drag or hair. If you could do hair, you was good. If you could clean a bitch house, you was good. That's all we had. That's all we had. That's how society used us. Now I'm meeting girls that, girl, I do nursing. I have my master's degree. I teach school. I'm over a national organization. I'm meeting girls that when I was in my 20s, I dreamed about. Because it had to be something different than just doing drugs and hoeing. So yes, I love my new family. My new social life is way better than the old one. Them whores can stay where they at. I like what I got going on now.
Just spoke a word. You just spoke a word.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's real. Okay, are there any questions? You all
We do
look
have a
at your
question on
pages.
the board.
You want me to read it or are you going to read it, Colleen?
I'll read it since this is actually a close personal friend of mine. First of all, Homemade, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support and your want for knowledge. We really do. And we encourage anybody that is joining in to put it on the board. As I said before, if we don't know where you are, how can anybody come and get you? So, but Homemade Hollywood is asking, would y'all date someone who is a drinker, not necessarily an alcoholic, just someone who occasionally drinks? So, okay, so there's a couple of different variants there. If you're somebody that's in recovery or that's choosing to stop and that's actively working a program, I would not suggest it. Only because it's just creating an issue that doesn't necessarily need to be there now. Meaning dating, initiating a relationship. If this is something that was ongoing and you love this person and this person loves you and you have an established relationship, then it is what it is. And you just have to be more vigilant in guarding yourself from not partaking in the same type of activity. But as far as initiating that, in my opinion, you're playing with fire. If this is something that you're trying to abstain from, because that person, when they hook up with you, they're going to want to have a cocktail. They're going to want to have a drink. And it's just playing with fire, in my opinion. Anyone else?
Well, I have something to say about that because I must say I started to get my first time going into rehab or into any type of sober living facility was back in '95, and it was a LGBT retreat that was over here in Tampa. It's called Raisins, and in Raisins, that was my first brush with recovery. I mean, I learned that I was a sex addict as well as a crackhead, and it was the truth. I can say what I was, I don't care. Anyway, I learned about alcoholism in the Big Blue Book. And the whole point of being there at that point was I was around people that I knew. So it was fun. But to go out into the world and realize I can't never go back to the club again because they drink there. I can never go to the family reunions where I know grandma got some moonshine and they're going to be smoking weed and doing all the things that I like to do before the cocaine. That was conflicting in my head because I just wanted to get rid of the damn crack. I didn't want the alcoholism. I never had that. I didn't have a problem smoking weed. So that always stuck in my head. I can remember the times where I would smoke a joint when I was in school, honey, and feel like I'm on top of the world. Or I would have a sip of moonshine and be okay. But see, I learned also in recovery, they said those are gateway drugs. And I was like, gateway what? I didn't understand what that gateway shit meant. They were saying that the reason why I was on crack was because I started smoking weed and drinking early on. I didn't believe none of that shit. So, I had to go out there and try it again. I did. I had to try it a couple of times. And a couple of more times until it got so bad where I was like, okay, Lord, I give up. I give up. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to do none of that stuff. I'm going to get clean and see what it do. And I got clean. And things started happening in my life. But then my life became real boring. I was going to those meetings and I was listening to them talk about what they was going through. And I'm like, I ain't going through none of that. That ain't me they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for a whole different reason. I'm trying to stay here, so I don't smoke crack no more. Cause see, once I start smoking crack, babe, I'm ready to hit the whole track. You know, crack and the whole track, they was hand in hand to me. I had to learn how to, like we said earlier, stop having sex, getting high. I had to learn all that. There was a person that was in recovery though, and his name is Kenneth Howard. And Kenneth Howard became my mentor because Kenneth Howard told me, he said, Miss Sean, how long are you going to recover from this drug? He said, your life did not come to an end when you stopped doing drugs. You just have to learn how to have fun in spite of. And that's when I started opening up my eyes and seeing life for what it was. The crack cocaine, that little bitty rock, it controlled my life, honey. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, it did. It was the light bill, the cable bill, the rent. It was a whole lot of things. But I had to realize that little rock did not control this being anymore. So I was able to go to the clubs and have fun. I was able to hang out with my friends that like to drink and clown. I just knew that I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm in a relationship now. I've been in for 17 years, and my husband loves to drink. He does. It doesn't bother me sometimes. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. I mean, really. You know, we just have this thing that we fight like cats and dogs anyway. You know, he's older than I am. But the drinking, I can tolerate. I can actually tolerate that. Let me stop before I get off a point. My recovery um was tailored to me. And that's what people has to realize about recovery. Everybody's recovery is not the same.
That's right.
Like you got your recovery and you're following the big blue book and you're doing the 12 steps, which I feel like everybody should do the 12 steps. You know, we should all clean our closet more than once. But everybody's recovery is the same. Nobody gets recovery the same way. I didn't have to go to recovery when I wanted to get clean this last trip because I knew all the lingo. I knew Bill's story because I had done did it so many times. It was just the fact of saying, I don't want to do this no more. And when I said that, it was done.
Janetta Johnson
For me-
said harm reduction. Absolutely.
For me,
Hi, Janetta.
just being transparent, I probably would, and I guess I would because I still drink occasionally, you know, and so drinking has never been my gateway because when I tried Coke, I wasn't drinking, and when I was, you know, on Coke, it didn't negate me drinking. That was just what I did. So I'm not saying it's good, but you just said the magic words. Everybody's recovery is their own. I have a cocktail every now and then because I have an egg, baby, and I don't make no excuses. I just have a cocktail because I felt myself getting ready to go in making one. And I had to catch myself. I'm not gonna sit up here and make no excuse. I'm not gonna make no excuse because there is no excuse. NSD is gonna have a cocktail every now and again. I got pray for me, y'all. That's all I can tell you on that. Now, when it comes to that other stuff, baby, I'm gonna battle to my last breath. Do you hear me? But Tina's gonna have a cocktail every now and again.
Right.
Go on, Milan.
For me, I have some drunk trade, but I ain't gonna have no alcoholic for like a partner. That's just for me. They can come over and hang out and do what they do and go home, but as far as a relationship, I couldn't be with nobody that drinks, especially beer. They could drink alcohol going out to the club, but beer, the smell of beer does something to me. I don't like the way beer smells. So they definitely couldn't drink beer, but a drink every now and then, I can deal with a partner, a lover, but an alcoholic, no, I couldn't. Me personally, I couldn't.
No.
Caroline?
I'm with you on that one, Milan. Now, an alcoholic, definitely no. No.
He He could come visit though. Training action. But then you gotta go.
Aja?
Oh no, I was clear earlier when I said neither. But for that person that asked that question, if the drinking is not a problem, like just like you have your little cocktail here and there, I have me a cocktail. I want to go in this refrigerator back here and get me one right now, but I'm not a drinker like that. I may have a drink once every 2 or 3 months. But I'm saying, like, if it's not a problem, I mean, I would date someone that drinks, but the other drug, no. Just like Regina said earlier, oh, no. It's like, because that's where my battles were. And that was my weakness. And no. I can deal with the drinking, but little. But the drugs, no. So no.
So, and Anastasia, you reminded me of, I'm sorry.
Anastasia.
Colleen. I didn't do what Regina did earlier.
But wait, it wasn't even you I was referring to. I was going back to the special guest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you thought we had to say, well, oh
Ashanti.
no.
Are you
I'm
real?
laughing. What? How
Okay.
dare you?
What'd you say?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Charge it to my brain, not my heart.
Okay.
Honey.
You had said something that reminded me of one very important fact, that everybody's recovery is different. Everybody's suit is different. Let me be a little more clear in my feelings regarding that real quick. So when you're working a program, because I don't want people to think that that Regina's doing anything wrong, or Aja's doing anything wrong, or Milan's or anybody's doing anything wrong. Our recovery is our recovery, and it depends on the atmosphere in which you choose to recover in. If you're in a 12-step program and those suggestions that you're told to take are, staying absent, then that's what you do. Because if you're going to work a program, then you have to work that program. You can't pick and choose what you're going to take out of that program. Alcoholics Anonymous, that blue book was there well before I came. So if this is the avenue I want to take, then I need to be willing to do what that avenue requires. If I'm recovering at home and I find my own way of recovering and that works for me, and that includes having a cocktail every now and then that's, that's what you do. I can't knock it because I disagree with it, because people go to church and stay clean. People go to mosques and stay clean. People stay out of clubs and stay clean. So everybody does have their different suit. I think I was a little biased when I answered that question, because I know Homemade Hollywood and I know the situation, and I was, but that's something that we can talk about outside of this forum. So I just wanted to clarify that for the general public, and so yeah. And I apologize for the mix up in names. I bet y'all won't forget your face.
That's okay, but Nadine, okay, so starting out, you confess that you are powerless over whatever substance it is. You get your first chip, powerless. You find your sponsor, you start working the steps. Your sponsor tells you to do the 90 and 90. The 90 and 90 is what works, okay? I promote the 90 and 90. How many 90 and 90s was I supposed to do though? Because I already did them. I already did them a couple of times.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. When I got ready to get clean and sober, I just stopped, because, and it wasn't so much as I stopped. I had something that I loved that I knew if I didn't stop doing what I was doing, I was gonna lose it, which was myself.
Right. So you surrendered, but you surrendered you surrendered. You surrendered. There is nothing else behind that. Like you surrendered, and behind every 12 step or every willing participant that's ready to stop has to first surrender and then tailor that suit. But like you said, you surrendered first. That's first and foremost. Absolutely. And I understand what you got. For the record, it's NA, not AA, that I'm a member of. But
all right,
mine was CA.
Okay. Okay.
Tonight, I think this has been an amazing panel. This was a subject that I feel I feel like we really got some things out that we really needed to discuss. And I think it's healing. I know for me it is. Every session that we have is healing. It really is, it's healing. And if you box this up and sold it, I think it could save lives. I think it could help people because we really talk about raw, real stuff. And I just want you to know I appreciate each and every one of you. Shanti, thank you so much for being a special guest. We will definitely keep you in rotation, being that you'd like to join the forum. You've expressed that tonight, and I don't want you jumping on me, so we'll try to make sure we keep you in rotation. And,
definitely.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us tonight. We love you. We will be back next month. Talk to you later.
Good night. Good night.